What an honor to be here on this glorious autumn day in the Boston Public Garden with David and Clint, two old friends who are about to embark on a new adventure together. We are here in the physical presence of a few close friends who will be offering some personal thoughts in just a moment. But we're also here to bear witness for your family and friends in many cities and countries and continents all over the world. So take a deep breath and imagine that all of them are here with you today, bringing their joy into this garden and into your lives. You've chosen an auspicious moment to get married. We've just marked the autumn equinox, a time when we celebrate the change in seasons that signals a change in our lives. And this week we welcome the harvest moon, the most beautiful time of the year in New England. This is also the week that we celebrate the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, an ancient harvest festival where we acknowledge the abundance of life in all its forms. So yes, it's a time of harvest, a time of abundance, a season when we reap all that we have been planting and nurturing. Wonderful images and symbols for your relationship. Because I remember well the night that you met, and I have seen you planting the seeds for a remarkable relationship over these past 12 years. I sense that your marriage is not a celebration of something completely new, but more like a harvest celebration, a time to appreciate all of the experiences and adventures and the love that you've carefully planted and tended to. Knowing you as people who are always looking ahead, I have no doubt that you'll keep planting for the future as well. And speaking of planting anew, I'd like to suggest that you begin with your own backyard, which could really use some work. David and Clint, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed being your friend, seeing how you've grown together in your relationship, watching how you've attended to each other's growth in ways both simple and profound, with a sense of ease and comfort that bodes well for your relationship for many years to come. I remember Clint speaking his first words of Hebrew, and I remember when David bought his first suit. I've seen you develop your passions for music and art, for biking and tennis and travel, and I've marveled at your joint pursuit of the perfect frittata. That two such extraordinary people, one from Idaho, one from Israel, should find each other in such a chaotic world gives me great cause for hope. And the fact that you've chosen to tie the knot at this time, when the world is so bound up with conflict and anger and disease, that gives me even more hope. Because you are the kind of people, and your love is the kind of love that the world needs more of at this very moment. I know from speaking with each of you that the more you find out about each other, the more amazed and appreciative you are of the man that you found to marry. There's an old saying that a good marriage is one where each partner secretly suspects they got the better deal. I think that's particularly true of your relationship, and it's just one of the reasons your love continues to grow with each passing day. Now I'd like to ask your friends who have joined us for this ceremony to share a few of their thoughts with us as well. And we'll begin with my husband, Guy Ronan.
David and Clint, this wedding is a continuation of loving, meaningful relationship between two beautiful, smart, and very tall men. We are so happy and honored to celebrate with you this important day. We wish you many, many more years of love, happiness, magic, and great adventures together. We have always looked up to you. I mean, literally, we always looked up to you. You guys are the coolest ever. Have an amazing life together. Love, Guy and Michael.
Thank you, Guy. And now let's hear from Dani Arnon and Tao Kai.
So I've known David since both of us were young and incredibly handsome soldiers in the IDF. Tao Kai has known him since I introduced them in Israel in 1992. We have known and loved Clint for over a decade. There are too many memories to mention, but one that stands out in our minds is the surprise party that David organized in our honor on that historic night of May 17, 2004, to celebrate our upcoming marriage. We are delighted to return the favor in celebrating with both of you today. Due to the pandemic, family members and friends of David and Clint could not be here with us. Many have sent their toasts and roasts to the happy couple. We will read them now.
So this is a message from Clint's mom, Myra Atterbury. Dear Clint and David, congratulations to both of you on this special day in your lives. Best wishes for a very healthy, joyous, and prosperous future together. Love you lots. Mom, Myra.
And this one is from your stepmom Jan and your dad. Clint and David. We have a few stories to share about Clint. When Clint was a baby, there was no air conditioning in the house. So when temperatures soared, his dad and mom would take him to Kmart, where it was nice and cool, and pushed him around in the shopping cart. He would stretch out in his little infant seat and go right to sleep. Clint loved Kmart. Clint loved to ride in the car and on his dad's tractor. He would tell his dad he wanted to go car when he wanted to go for a ride in the car, and Tata Daddy for the tractor. He would be full of smiles when his dad let him steer the tractor. Very impressive. When Clint was working with his steer to show at the county fair, the steer stepped on his rubber boot, knocked him down, and walked all over him, resulting in one quick trip to the emergency room. But Clint's steer only escaped once. When Clint worked on his neighbor's farm, he told his dad, "If I ever have a small farm, I will know exactly what not to do." Clint was the best big brother ever. He loved and helped take care of his younger sister and brother. As Clint's stepmom, I can truly say what a remarkable young man he is. I know it's not easy when your parents divorce, but Clint has always treated me with respect and shown kindness. Thank you for that, Clint. Jeff and I enjoy the time we spend with you and David. We hope you both can visit soon. Congratulations on your special day. Wishing you the best day and always. May the years ahead be filled with lasting joy and happiness. Congratulations, we love you both, Dad and Jan.
From Nicole Smith. Clint and I have been friends for over 18 years, and I have watched his life grow and evolve. The love that David and Clint have for each other is a consummate example of how two people support and encourage each other, how they explore new places and experiences together, and how their confidence in their loves give their confidence to be true to themselves in the world. I wish Clint and David a lifetime of happiness together. Congratulations.
This one is from Avital Goldner. דוד יקירי, חנלה ואני מברכים אותך ואת קלינט בכל הברכות שבעולם, ומאחלים לכם אושר וחיים טובים ובריאים עד 120. אין לי פדיחות לספר עליך. יש לי רק זיכרונות טובים של בחור חכם ונעים הליכות, בעל לב זהב, לא צוחק. מזל טוב, אביטל.
From Brooke Bavia, I'm a friend of Clint's from his days working at Cengage back in 2011. Clint, I could never keep pace with your daddy long legs, but I'm glad that David can and does. Smiley face emoji with sunglasses.
And now a poem by Danny Savage. נספר בקצרה על קלינט ודוד, כל אחד מהם חבר וידיד. שניהם, איך נאמר, מאוד חתיכים, ולפי השמועה אינם בתולים. חיו יחדיו ללא חתונה עד שמשהו לפתע השתנה. וירוס עיקש גרם לשינוי, חתונה היא בהחלט עניין ראוי. נשלח לכם ברכות וחיבוקים מברק ודני הרווקים.
From Amanda Cragen, planning a wedding with a limited guest list during a global pandemic is a rather roundabout way to let me know that the flower girl spot isn't mine. As you gaze lovingly into one another's eyes, please note that the moment could have been augmented by artfully distributed flower petals. Despite this glaring omission, I hope you have many years of flowers and happiness with one another. Best, Amanda.
And this one is from טל הירשפלד. עד כלפני שנתיים חשבתי שקוראים לקלינט קלימט, כמו הצייר. ומה שמצחיק, אף אחד לא שם לב או העיר לי על טעות זאת. שמחים להיות חבריכם שנים רבות, עם דוד רק כמה עשרות שנים בלבד. חיוך אמוג'י ואמוג'י עם לבבות, באהבה גדולה מאיציק וממני, הזקנים בחבורה.
From Linda McCammon. Greetings, Clint and David. I'm so happy for you both. When I think of the two of you, one word immediately comes to mind: hospitality. In Hebrew, the practice is called Haknasat Orchim, or welcoming guests. You have welcomed me into your lovely home, where I learn about the secrets of Tesla, enjoy great food and wine by master chefs, that's you, got lost in Clint's art and David's piano interludes, and savored spring evenings in the backyard talking about plants, home ownership, and politics. For me, these are lovely and cherished memories that reflect your love for each other and for your friends. With much affection, Linda.
The next one is from Michael Staley and Braden Jensen. Clint told me about David shortly after their first date. Cool-headed Clint described being served blueberry pancakes and serenaded with Bach on the piano as though this was just another date du jour. For those unfamiliar, know that this is not the usual tactic in the gay agenda. Far from it. In the coming months, it became clear to me that Clint had found someone to love him as he deserved to be loved, fully and unusually, exceptionally. So too did Clint fall head over heels, which became apparent when Clint fretted, not something that Clint does very often, about what to get David for Christmas. Clint was either a sucker for pancakes or he was in love, and now that a decade has passed and Clint isn't morbidly obese, we can assume the latter. We wish you a lifetime of marital bliss, filled with pancakes and morning serenades. We love you, Michael and Braden.
From Kelly Strebe. Clint and David met me in New York City one spring morning when they were here for a little weekend getaway. We had brunch, and then we decided to take a walk around Midtown together. We were strolling when suddenly, not far from the Empire State Building, we walked past the infamous Museum of Sex. Without missing a beat, David turned to Clint and me and proclaimed, "We need to go in there." Thus, I find myself, a straight woman, wandering around New York's sex museum with our charming couple. We had the best time in that museum, the high point being the orgasm ride we took together at the end, which included a surprise water spray as we sat in our seats watching a psychedelic screen. Clearly, this random adventure proves what most of us already know and love about Clint and David. They are always up for anything, from traveling the world to visiting the Midtown Sex Museum. I wish them both nothing but happiness and unexpected joys and detours as they start their life together. Love, Kelly.
The next one is from Nir Doron. To the young couple, we will never forget the exceptional blueberry pancakes and welcoming hospitality at your place. We're always delighted meeting you over cheese and wine at our place, witnessing how Clint's Hebrew is getting better over the years and how David insists on having conversation with him in Hebrew, not to say forcing him. You are a charming couple and we're so happy with you on this special day. It's great that David has finally bent the knee now that Clint has reached the age of consent. Mazal Tov, love, Nir, Nitzan, and Omer.
From Catherine Greiner. Clint and David, blessings to you on this happy day. Clint, since that first toga dance freshman year of college, I knew you would be A, great friend, and B, someone always up for an adventure. And that only increased when you met the love of your life, David. You two share this joy-filled passion, whether it is traveling the world, learning a new hobby, trying out a new recipe, or filling your lovely home with friends for music and laughter. You both embrace the wonder of what it means to be alive. And now on this day, you embark on a new adventure. May your love for one another continue to grow. Always be assured of my admiration and deep abiding love and friendship. Love you, Kat.
The next one is from Yael Benninga. Dearest David and Clint, experimenting in the kitchen, followed by some burns and explosions that led to wonderful dinners. That is how I got to know the two of you. Two of the best people I know, which I'm privileged to call my friends. Wishing you a happy and fruitful life together, and may your love continue and grow. Love to you both, each on his own and together, Yael.
From Danny Dagan. Congratulations from Dave and Danny. We're so happy for you both. And Clint, on behalf of our entire community, we'd like to thank you for taking David off the streets, finally making it safe for twins to go out again.
Mark Todoruk. I remember when I met David and Clint together for the first time more than 10 years ago. Having known David for at least 10 years before that, most of you will understand that my first thought was, what good has David ever done in his life to deserve a wonderful guy like Clint? But I'm just jealous, of course. I'm very grateful to know you both, and I wish you many more happy years together. Your friend from the north, Mark.
Brock Jones. Clint and I came out about the same time, and we often confided in each other our new experiences in Gaydon. I remember he told me he met someone on a night out, and that the next morning David baked breakfast and played a small piano recital. After just one night at the bars, Clint had met the man of his dreams and began their life together. They might also be the last gays to get married who actually met at a bar. Often, we wish newlyweds the best in their upcoming journey and lives together. But for Clint and David, we are celebrating not just what is to come, but what has been present for some time. While there is a newness of knowing you as a married couple, the strength of your relationship continues to bring to the world the same magic, wonder, and love of a breakfast piano concert. Love, Brock.
The next one is from Vanessa Colura. When his soup recipe doesn't meet his high standards, David doesn't just throw it out. He flushes it down the toilet, causing organic vegetables to ricochet off porcelain, a memorable sound. And of course, we all know that in marrying Clint, David has found the highest quality person to share a life with.
Next, a poem from Darko Volkov. The rough on the edges, hardware engineer. One day love appeared, his heart softened, forever after.
Last but not least are Jacob Press and Mark. Dear Clint and David, Mazel Tov and congratulations on your wedding day. We know we are supposed to be mean and short. Being short is easy for Jacob. And here is something mean. The number 5, in relation to the numerical series 4, 5, 6. There. Now we get to be sincere. You guys are bright spots in dark times, and it always makes us happy to think of you. The lives you have built, full of art, food, music, and all other forms of love, beauty, and truth, bring transcendence among us. We love you and look forward to sharing your happiness for many years to come. Jacob, Mark, Lily, and Violet.
The puppies.
Thank you, Danny and Tao Kai. I have to say, I don't even know most of those people, but I'm overwhelmed just hearing all of their expressions of love and of amazing memories. I do detect a pattern involving blueberry pancakes, I have to tell you. So before we hear from Clint and David, I'd like to acknowledge the historic nature of this marriage. The U.S. Supreme Court, in the Goodrich decision, noted that, quote, the decision whether and whom to marry is among life's momentous acts of self-definition, unquote. So while every marriage is by definition momentous, this marriage, your marriage, defines you in a way that only the two of you can do. Your marriage is both intensely public and intensely private. Perhaps Justice Kennedy summed it up best when he wrote the majority opinion in the case that created the marriage equality. He stated that no union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than once they were. Well, you were both pretty great before you got married, but I agree with Justice Kennedy. You will become even greater as a married couple. And now I know that Clint and David have a few words of their own that they'd like to share. Clint?
David, Hamoud Shali, you have loved and encouraged me for many years by now. You have been consistently patient, loving, and kind as we've melded our lives together. You have been my biggest fan and my constant supporter. We have explored many parts of New England and the world, and I look forward to being your lifetime companion and continuing to explore new places together. When I first met you, I was immediately drawn to your rational, logical approach to life. One of my favorite memories of this occurred several years ago when we started talking about moving in together. And I said, okay, that's great, but I have about 1,000 questions about how this will work. And you said, okay, well, let's just start with your first question. It turned out that I really only had 2 or 3 questions. And together, we navigated that milestone in our relationship with a lot of patience and joy. I see in you a naturally patient teacher and facilitator. My first specific experience with this occurred when I wanted to take that Hebrew class several years ago, and they couldn't find a teacher, so you offered to be the teacher. I know you enjoy teaching in general, but I also know that you did that for me. And beyond the Hebrew language, you have been my teacher in so many ways, in the kitchen, on the tennis court, at classical music concerts, and as we've traveled around Israel together. At one point in the past, a friend said to me, quote, "He treats you like a king." And while there may be some truth in that, it's more often the case that you identify the ways in which we both contribute to our relationship, and I hope we both always treat each other extremely well. I promise to continue to support you and contribute to the life and happiness we now share. Ata yakar bishvili, ata chahuv sheli, ani ochev otcha me'od me'od.
Toda rabah. Thank you very much. David?
Clint, when we met 12 years ago in a bar in Alston, I looked at you and became speechless. Your smile won me over, but what I could not see at that point was all your other qualities. I just looked at you and I couldn't even bring myself to say hello. You then asked me to dance, And that Friday night on July 11, 2008, changed my life. I immediately saw how handsome and sweet you were. And then over the years, I learned more about you, how kind, thoughtful, and loving you are. Our first summer together was magical. From that first July 11 night, through a year of dating, moving in together, answering these 1,000 questions, our first trip to Israel, and then 11 more years together with many more adventures and travels. During that time, I got to know you more and more. Your mellow side, your wild side, your patience, your impatience when you're hungry, your artistic talents, your openness, and your willingness to try anything and everything. You won me over with your enthusiasm to learn my world, with many trips to Israel, a newly found passion for Middle Eastern food, and of course learning Hebrew. איך אפשר שלא להתאהב בך? איך כולם בעולם לא מאוהבים בך גם? Which is, how is it possible not to fall in love with you? How is it that not everyone in the world is in love with you? So apparently they are. One of the best privileges of dating you has always been introducing you to friends and family. The general response is invariably, you know he's too good for you, right? Which I totally agree with. I still recall my nephew Oded learning that I was coming to Israel without you. He got all upset, complained, so what's the point? And stormed out of the room. I cherish these moments. I love how not only I love you, but all my friends and family. This year in March, our relationship was tested again. How would it feel to be locked down together for months and months, having minimal contact with other people under the stress of a spiraling pandemic? Apparently, when it comes to you and me, it feels great. Clint, we've been inseparable for a long time now. I'm thrilled to make it official today. You are truly my better half. We make an unbreakable team together, traveling, cooking, planning for the future, in harmony that I never thought was possible. As long as you don't mix carrot juice and orange juice, and I don't forget to pack a snack for you when we go hiking, we never fight. Clint, I will be proud to call you my husband and to be your husband. Let's do it.
Thank you, David. Well, we've heard about Clint's 1,000 questions for David, and we heard about how David answered them. And now we have 2 more questions before we can complete our ceremony. My first question is for Clint. Do you, Clint, take David to be your husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish all the days of your life?
I do.
Do you, David, take Clint to be your husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish all the days of your life?
I do.
And I think you have a ceremony for the ring.
Yes. Clint, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and commitment to you. I pledge to you all that I am and all that I will ever be as your husband. With this ring, I gladly marry you and join my life to yours. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life. I hope it's the right size.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and commitment to you. I pledge to you all that I am and all that I will ever be as your husband. With this ring, I gladly marry you and join my life to yours. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life.
May I kiss the groom?
There's more.
Okay. By the power invested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I declare you married. Ta'asu Chaim, you may kiss the groom.
Yay!
Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo!
Okay, עוד נשיקה.
Oh, Nishika, come on, come on. This time like you mean it, like you mean it. Come on. These guys over here just...
Oh, that was beautiful. Really beautiful.
Wow, congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Michael, so much.
Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Your
Yeah,
vows were
and
so
thank
beautiful.
you, Darlene and Jamie,
God, they were
and
so
Danny and Tao Kai and Guy, of course. Thank you, everyone.